learning Korean doesn't have to mean textbooks and repetitive exercises. Many K-pop idols use video games to improve their Korean skills in a fun and interactive way. Gaming exposes them to real conversations, cultural nuances, and fast decision-making, all crucial for learning a language effectively. Hendery from WayV said, "We can learn from a game. For example, through League of Legends. I think I have learned a lot from it, because I played in many servers, including US, Korea and China. In order to better understand the skills, I have to figure out the words. If I'm not a native speaker, I will not be able to understand. I will then learn more and more different phrases, then I will be able to understand. What I have learnt, it'll only belong to me. It'll be something that I can acquire in a long run. I think it's quite good." If you've ever wondered how K-pop idols manage to learn and practice Korean despite their busy schedules, you might be surprised by the role video games play. From improving pronunciation to expanding vocabulary, gaming helps them absorb Korean in a way that feels natural and exciting. In this video, we'll break down 10 ways K-pop idols use video games to study Korean, so you can apply these methods to your own learning journey. Reading dialogue in real time. Many K-pop idols play story-driven games that require them to read Korean dialogue on screen. Unlike a textbook, where you can take your time, games force players to read quickly and process information in real time to make decisions. This helps them develop faster reading comprehension while keeping their minds engaged. Additionally, game dialogue is written in a natural and conversational tone, making it easier for idols to recognize sentence structures and how words fit together in real-life speech. It's much more effective than memorizing individual words because they see them in context. Over time, playing games consistently helps idols recognize recurring phrases and expressions, making Korean feel more intuitive. Since video games often have different difficulty levels, they can start with simpler storylines and gradually move to more complex ones as their Korean improves. Understanding everyday vocabulary. Video games introduce idols to real-world vocabulary that appears in everyday conversations. Unlike classroom learning, where words are often categorized into rigid themes, games present vocabulary organically, as it would be spoken in daily life. For example, role-playing games, RPGs, and simulation games often include dialogues related to ordering food, giving directions, making small talk, or expressing emotions. Since these interactions are repeated throughout the game, idols learn how to use these words naturally. What's even better is that many games allow players to interact with non-playable characters, NPCs, who respond differently based on the choices made. This teaches idols the cause and effect of language, helping them understand not just words, but the meaning behind different responses. Listening to natural pronunciation. Many Korean video games are fully voice-acted, meaning idols can listen to native speakers using natural pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. This is one of the best ways to improve listening comprehension, as they hear real spoken Korean in an immersive setting. Unlike scripted audio lessons, game characters speak in various emotional tones, from excitement to frustration. This helps idols understand how intonation and emphasis change the meaning of a sentence. For example, a simple phrase like, "really," can express curiosity, disbelief, or sarcasm depending on how it's said. By repeatedly listening to characters speak, idols also improve their pronunciation through imitation. Some idols even repeat lines out loud while playing, practicing the sounds and rhythm of Korean speech without needing a tutor. Interactive practice through decision-making. Unlike passive learning methods, video games force idols to actively engage with the language. Many games have multiple-choice dialogues, where players must choose a response in Korean. This forces idols to think critically and respond in real time, simulating real-life conversation skills. This kind of practice is crucial because it teaches context-based learning, rather than memorizing vocabulary in isolation. Idols learn how different responses affect conversations and what phrases are appropriate in specific situations. Additionally, some games use time-sensitive responses, which means idols must process Korean quickly to keep up. This naturally improves reaction time when speaking and helps prevent overthinking, a common issue for language learners. Learning through repetition. One of the most powerful aspects of video games is repetition. Many game mechanics require players to hear, read, and use the same words multiple times, reinforcing them naturally. Unlike traditional studying, where repetition can feel boring. In gaming, it happens organically and with purpose. For example, in adventure games, players often hear certain commands or status updates repeatedly, such as start, try again, or game over. These words become second nature without the player even realizing they're memorizing them. The brain retains information better when it's linked to an emotional or interactive experience. Since idols play games for entertainment, their brains store language information effortlessly, making it easier to recall during real conversations. Motivation to keep playing and learning. Traditional study methods often feel like a chore, but video games provide constant rewards and challenges, which makes learning addictive. Unlike textbooks, where progress can feel slow, games give players instant feedback, whether it's unlocking a new level, gaining an achievement, or solving a puzzle. For K-pop idols, who have tight schedules and little free time, this makes a huge difference. Since they already enjoy gaming, they're able to expose themselves to Korean daily without forcing themselves to study. This consistency is one of the biggest factors in long-term language retention. Games also provide a stress-free environment. Unlike real-life conversations, where people fear making mistakes, idols can experiment with Korean at their own pace, improving their confidence without worrying about being judged. Typing and writing practice in multiplayer games. Many idols enjoy playing online multiplayer games, where they chat with other players in Korean. This provides valuable writing practice, allowing them to type out messages and communicate in real time. Since chat functions in games often require quick responses, idols learn to type faster and use abbreviations, slang, and casual speech, skills that are essential for texting and social media. This exposure to real-life informal language helps them sound more natural in conversations. Some idols even practice writing their responses before sending them, giving them extra time to think about sentence structure and grammar without the pressure of speaking out loud. Problem solving in Korean. Many games involve puzzles, missions, and strategy, requiring players to process instructions in Korean. This helps idols think in the language, rather than constantly translating back to their native tongue. For example, puzzle games with Korean text force idols to read and comprehend clues quickly, since they need to understand the instructions to progress. Their brain starts associating meaning directly with the Korean words, making learning more intuitive. By using Korean in problem-solving situations, idols develop critical thinking skills in the language, which is key to reaching fluency. Adapting to different levels of formality. Korean has multiple levels of formality, and K-pop idols need to know when to use formal and informal speech. Video games provide a natural way to learn these levels, as characters in different roles use varying degrees of politeness. For example, in fantasy RPGs, royalty or senior characters often speak in highly formal Korean, while close friends and younger characters use casual speech. This allows idols to absorb the correct tone without studying grammar charts. Many multiplayer games also let players chat in real time, where they pick up modern slang, abbreviations, and casual expressions used in everyday conversations. This helps idols develop a natural sense of when and how to switch between formality levels, an essential skill in Korean culture. Using game soundtracks and voice acting for pronunciation practice. Many idols use game soundtracks and character voice acting to practice pronunciation. Since video games often feature high-quality Korean voiceovers, they provide authentic listening material that helps improve intonation, rhythm, and accent. One technique idols use is shadowing, where they repeat exactly what the character says in real time, mimicking their pronunciation and tone. Since game dialogue is often short and interactive, it's easier to practice than long textbook recordings. Additionally, game theme songs and background music often contain memorable Korean lyrics, reinforcing vocabulary through melody. Many idols unconsciously memorize phrases and sentence structures simply by listening to soundtracks on repeat. This makes pronunciation practice both effortless and enjoyable. Video games create an engaging and effective way to practice Korean, which is why so many K-pop idols use them as part of their learning process. Whether it's reading, listening, speaking, or writing, gaming provides an immersive experience that makes language learning feel natural. Want to try it yourself? Pick a Korean game with subtitles or voice acting, and start absorbing the language the fun way. You might be surprised at how much you improve.